Hi, good afternoon and Shabbat Shalom. I just returned back from the APAC conference in Washington, D.C. earlier this week. We had a nice group go from the greater Worcester area, about 15 of us, including a number of student leaders from Clark. Now, I know a lot of people think of APAC and have the political connotations of what APAC means in their mind. I'm pleased to report that it was a very bipartisan group with both speakers coming from both sides of the political spectrum as well as attendees. One of the things that I really enjoyed was the emphasis on the fact that Israel is one of the few issues that should be able to bridge the gap in today's U.S. politics. After the conference, a group of us got together at Congressman Jim McGovern's office to talk about the issues that were important to the local Jewish community in relation to our opinions on Israel and our viewpoints and the needs of Israel. And I thought that was a great opportunity for us to meet with our elected officials. So thank you to those of you who came to the conference. For those of you who weren't there, you can look online to hear many of the speeches, and I think you'll find that it was both an interesting, enlightening, and educational program. But I want to emphasize again that what I cherished most about it was the fact that it was so bipartisan, and there were people from both sides of the political spectrum. While we were in Washington, D.C., a number of rockets were fired into Israel, and that changed the course of events for the conference. The Prime Minister, Israeli Prime Minister, was scheduled to speak. He returned home during that, and a number of us were paying close attention to what was going on the ground in Israel. I think 30 rockets, or over 30 rockets, were fired into the south of the country. And then, of course, Israel had some military strikes in Gaza at the offices of Hamas and other locations around the Gaza Strip. So it was a tenuous time. And while that was going on, the Trump administration announced a formal recognition of Israel's control of the Golan Heights, which was also quite an interesting development. So, as is usually the case with things related to Israel in the Middle East, if you aren't watching the news for one day, you miss everything. So a lot of changes taking place on the ground there. And of course, as a local Jewish community with friends and family in Israel and our sister city of Afula and all of the people we know and care about there and have such strong relationships with, what we are really thinking about is just the safety and security of all of them, and really hoping that the next generation of both Israelis and Arabs, Palestinians and Jews gets to experience peace, which is something that's been so difficult for the last 70 plus years. So we're watching the news thinking that, and with Israel and others in the region in our thoughts and prayers, really hoping that this Shabbat is a Shabbat Shalom. With that, take care. Have a great weekend.